WHAS 11 Weather First.
Right now, live at 11 on the WHAS 11 night team. We've had everything else the past few days, so why not some fog tonight? Take a look live. You can barely see the Big 4 bridge. It is thick fog. More rain is on the way with a much warmer day tomorrow. Here on January 3rd, we certainly are not in the deep freeze anymore. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Meteorologist Colleen Peterson is giving us an update now on the non-stop rain for the next several hours. Colleen?
Yeah, how about 15 hours? It is going to be continuous overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. The best part, it's just light in nature, but when we get that fog in, we might have some visibility issues, but still not under a dense fog advisory. Here's where the rain is right now, just passing through Jefferson County, but what's moving through Litchfield and Hardinsburg is going to be replacing it here over the next few hours. So some light sprinkles from Anchorage to Prospect, as well as in southern Indiana. Basically, we're all going to see light showers here for overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. This is a trail of unsettled weather. It's a stationary front with a lot of moisture riding on it. So we're going to continue to see those showers hightail it right towards Kentucky and Indiana overnight tonight. And the first wave is tomorrow morning. Expect widespread showers. Could see some moderate downpours around 8 o'clock when you're heading to work. And then round number 2 is on Thursday. I'll time out those showers a little bit closer coming up. Doug?
Thank you, Colleen. All new right now on the WHAS 11 night team. Progress is being made on a project to make streets in Old Louisville safer by converting them from one-way to two. The multi-million-dollar project will convert 2nd and 3rd streets between West Broadway and West Cardinal Boulevard. Tonight, neighbors got a chance to learn how it's going to work. WHAS 11 night team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie explain how the conversion will improve safety and when it will start.
You're looking at 2nd and Broadway in downtown Louisville, where the two-way street turns into a one-way road heading south. 2nd and 3rd streets will soon go from one-way streets to two-way.
This is kind of the kickoff. We are awaiting our final letter from FHWA, but we have been awarded the grant, and we're excited to get started.
The $12.5 million project is a partnership between Louisville Public Works and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Director Jennifer Commissar-Kern addressed the Old Louisville Neighborhood Council, emphasizing one of the main reasons for this project is safety.
One-way streets, multi-lane one-way streets, are disproportionately less safe than two-way streets.
Converting one-way roads into two ways is just one safety strategy that's used to achieve the city's mission of zero roadway deaths by 2050. From this busy intersection where South 3rd Street meets West Broadway to where South 2nd Street and Cardinal Boulevard meet, along with the conversion to two-way streets, will have enhanced crosswalk visibility, dedicated left turn lanes, and bike lanes. The conversions help reduce speeding, reduce confusion among drivers who are unfamiliar with the area, and give better access to businesses and residents in the area. But a concern for some Old Louisville residents is the timeline. Construction on the project isn't expected to start until 2027.
It's going to be great. So what can we do as the public to help as citizens to push this forward faster?
Another concern is potential backup in the neighborhoods.
This is part of an overall plan to slow the neighborhood down. It's going to take an extra 10 minutes to get where you need to go.
Commissar Cern says the project is still in the preliminary phases.
The first part of the project will be gathering information, do some preliminary design, and then we'll come back to this group and other stakeholders in the area, and then our sister agencies, TARC, JCPS, and to gather input from them on what they want to see.
There will be meetings for public comment once the first phases have been complete. In Old Louisville, Alex Dieterer, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Another conversion project will turn Logan and Shelby streets from one-way to two-way between Goss Avenue and East Gray Street in downtown Louisville. That's the medical district. Work was expected to begin last week, with construction wrapping up by this summer. Family members of 2 executives killed in the Old National Bank shooting stood alongside attorneys today as they announced a lawsuit against the Louisville gun store that sold the weapon used in the mass shooting.
The trauma of that day is still fresh in our minds, and the pain remains. My goal, or purpose driven by the pain, is to take action to prevent this from ever happening to another family again.
Karen Tutt lost her husband, Jim, in the shooting last April. Her family and the family of Joshua Barrick and several survivors are suing River City Firearms. The store on Preston Highway sold the AR-15 to Connor Sturgeon just days before the mass shooting. Their lawsuit claims that there were warning signs the business should have noticed. According to the lawsuit, a witness at the store said she saw an employee showing the shooter how to perform basic functions, like how to load it, how to hold the AR-15, and how to use its various features.
Someone in the gun store said the shooter appeared uneasy, avoided eye contact, and demonstrated a complete lack of knowledge about guns. The shooter allegedly told River City employees that he wanted to purchase an AR-15 for self-defense.
We called River City Firearms today, but the person who answered the phone did not want to comment. The owner told us he wouldn't do an interview at this time. Law enforcement and prosecutors are launching a new initiative that they hope will reduce gun violence in our area by targeting repeat violent offenders. It's called the Prohibited Firearms Possessors Initiative, or PFP. It consists of meetings between major prosecutors, LMPD, and the Louisville ATF. While these groups already work together, they'll now meet earlier in the legal process to share evidence to see how a suspect could be connected to other crimes.
Well, a lot of times that doesn't come into fruition until much further down the road. We're already past grand jury hearings. We're already past, pleas being offered and things like that before they're getting the full picture.
The agencies have already identified and reviewed 4 cases to test and examine the process. They will be meeting monthly. City leaders are also looking to the community for solutions to reduce gun violence. Today, the Crescent Hill Community Council announced the winners of the first Curbing Gun Violence in Jefferson County competition. Cynthia Garrett, whose daughter Alexandria was shot and killed in 2020, spoke of the need to end the violence.
I don't want anyone else to know this pain, because this pain doesn't stop right here. It lasts forever, and it creeps up on us daily.
Out of 230 entries, 2 winners were selected to split the $7,000 prize. Local artist Lisa Austin proposed an art installation portraying the feelings of loss and grief people experience from gun violence. And Michael Reed pitched an idea of inner peace that will be turned into a digital media campaign. Indiana investigators today returning to the explosion site where a home once stood outside of French Lick. They are surveying the damage from that major blast that killed one man and leveled his home. Now we have close-up photographs of the house from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. This sky view shows you the large hilltop property with a front yard trampoline still visible in the lower part of your screen. Now here's the view from the end of the driveway. Take a look, debris scattered over nearly every inch of the yard. And now to the basement. It's the only visible part of the home still remaining. You see the walls there. And near the front of the home, an outbuilding is also gone. Only the framing still standing to the right, the pipes all torn apart. WHAS11's John Charlton and Chief Photojournalist Philip Merle talked to a family member of the homeowner and have more on the possible cause.
I guess it came from this direction. And you can see what all it did up here.
His shed and workshop, evidence of the sheer force behind the huge blast next door.
See how it's bent? Look at that. It bent that.
But Kern Quackenbush isn't just a neighbor. He's family.
She's lost everything.
His sister lived in the house on the hill, a house completely obliterated. Kern was home for the explosion.
What was that? And, kind of rocked me like this, too. And I saw a ball of fire just went straight up out of the ground.
Once he could comprehend what just happened, Kern's mind went straight to his sister. It was 6:29 on the clock, he says, and she should have been home, but she had worked late Monday night.
And I managed to call her on the phone, little cell phone, and I relayed the information, and she said, David is there.
David Baker was making supper. Search and rescue crews recovered the 66-year-old's body Tuesday morning. The floor and the entire house had collapsed, and he was found in the basement.
The victim was found beneath some appliances or halfway under some appliances in the basement. There wasn't a lot of debris that was on top of the victim. Most of the debris is in the debris field around the area.
The Indiana Department of Homeland Security says all indications point to this being a massive propane explosion. It could have been worse if the homes here were closer together and if Kern Qualkenbush's sister was actually home.
She's lost her home, lost her husband, lost all of her possessions. She's lost everything.
And officials with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security are encouraging people to have their home propane systems inspected on a regular basis. Kern Qualkenbush, the brother-in-law you saw there, had his inspected today and everything checked out. Also new from the night team tonight, we now know the name of the man killed in that fiery crash that shut down part of I-64 East for nearly an entire day. The coroner says 61-year-old Danny Goodman died in the crash last Wednesday. No hometown was given by the coroner in their report tonight. Louisville Metro Police investigators say Goodman was driving one of the semi-trucks involved in the crash just past the Cochran Hill Tunnel. A total of 5 vehicles were involved that day. No one else was killed. New tonight, the Jefferson County School Board has a new leader this evening. The Reverend Dr. Corey Scholl was elected the new chairman of the board, replacing Diane Porter, who stepped down due to health issues. Also on the board, a new member, Gail Strange, is well known for her past role in the corporate world here in Louisville. WHAS11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Addie Hill talked to her about her plans and the proposed busing changes. Taylor?
Well, Doug, JCPS newly elected board member Gail Strange told me she is willing to do everything she can to see District 1 excel. She's had her eye on this seat since 2005, and now she's overjoyed to fill it. The constitutional oath for newly elected JCPS District 1 school board member Gail Strange. She replaces longtime board member and former chairwoman Diane Porter.
I am actually ready for the challenge.
Strange is a former communications executive who served with the old Brown & Williamson Tobacco Company and most recently Presbyterian Church USA. She applied for this same board seat in 2005. One of her main goals is to close the educational gap for students of color.
Particularly in District 1, that we have the resources, the facilities, and everything that our kids need to be successful.
I asked her for her stance on the recent JCPS transportation disaster and ongoing issues. Last month, the district announced that transportation may not be guaranteed to magnet students. Here's what she had to say.
I would just hope that we would continue to be diligent in looking at creative ways to solve this transportation issue.
That same question was asked to school board member Dr. Corey Scholl. He says proposals are being considered now and parents should look to hear more information in the coming weeks.
We want to make sure that they're equitable. We want to make sure that we are not excluding our most vulnerable students.
Strange says she is still confident in JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio. She and others are starting to work on his annual evaluation. In the meantime, she's ready to see JCPS succeed.
It sets the tone for the work that's ahead of us.
And the next JCPS school board meeting is Tuesday, February 13th at the Van Hoos Education Center. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
All right, Taylor, thank you.